It's been a wild, wild World Series of Bowling. The best players on the planet have lit it up in the month-long extravaganza that's worth over $2.1 million in prize money. But the best may be yet to come, as reigning PBA Player of the Year Wes Malott, the Big Nasty, makes his first show of the new season. The PBA Shark Championship is next. We are still in Detroit for our continuing coverage of the World Series of Bowling here on ESPN. Here's the rundown for today's matches. Semifinal number 1 on the men's side, Michael Fagan versus Jason Couch. Semi number 2, Wes Malott versus Jack Jarrett. The finals of the men's a little bit later in the broadcast. And then the PBA Women's Series, presented by Bowl.com, has Kelly Kulick taking on CDB Carolyn Doran Ballard. Rob Stone, joined by 13-time titleist Randy Peterson. Randy, over the last couple weeks here in Detroit, we've really seen it all. We've seen probably the most challenging conditions these bowlers will ever face in their careers. We've seen first-time winners. We've seen Hall of Famers. But one thing has been missing. One big thing. The Big Nasty, last year's reigning Player of the Year, Wes Malott, finally makes his season debut today.
Yeah, you're right. He got off to a slow start here at the World Series of Bowling, and you thought we would have seen him last week at the Scorpion Championships because he is, however, the Scorpion King. Didn't happen. He did make it to the round of 8, however. But this week, he's back on television again here at the Shark Championship. He said it's his least favorite pattern, but keep in mind, he won his first ever career title on this very pattern. But Rob, I think the player to watch today is our lone southpaw, Jason Couch. Jason Couch coming back after a year and a half from knee surgery. He says he's back to 100% and poised to win again.
Really, it's just been a hard time getting back to where I was before my injury. I felt like I was at the top at the point, you know, and I didn't think I was necessarily ready for surgery, but it's probably a good thing I went in, you know, because I probably wouldn't have made it another 2 years without my knee surgery. So it's just been a grind.
Couch looking for his 16th tour title. Fagan his 2nd, but his 1st in singles competition. And we'll begin with Jason Couch, and he was telling me earlier, I hope I bowl this first match because the more bowling these lanes take, the easier he thinks it's going to become for the righties. Why is that, Randy?
They start to break down the oil pattern and create a little bit of dry to the right, and they can move into that soup in the middle of the lane and throw into the dry spot. And Jason absolutely excels on the long patterns. You remember, he's the only player in PBA history to win 3 consecutive Tournament of Champions, all done on long oil patterns. And we're talking 50 feet. Shark, this season, 43 feet. This is in his wheelhouse, and he's got the whole left side of the lane to himself.
Made just 1 telecast last season. He finished 4th in Vernon Hills. That also happened to be on this Shark oil pattern.
2.
Whoa. Now, we have seen that week in and week out here at the World Series of Bowling. I mean, nothing can be taken for granted out here.
Well, and all of the matches, as you know, they look like they're going in one direction only to finish in another. So I wouldn't be worried just yet.
Strong start, though, for Michael Fagan. It was a slow start overall here at the World Series of Bowling for him. 26th in the Motor City event, 12th at Cheetah, 46th in the Viper, 58th in the Chameleon, and then 51st in the Scorpion. But he turned things around here in the Shark, making his 8th career televised singles appearance, 3 of them coming last season. Twice he has been a runner-up, a native of Patchogue, New York, on Long Island.
So, Rob, what is it you're trying to say? The World Series of Bowling hasn't been kind to Michael Fagan?
It has not been kind to the averages of many a bowler.
Boy, But you can see with that extreme high rev rate for both players, not a lot of motion down the lane. Look at that high backswing, the cup snap of the wrist at the bottom.
And Fagan's been doing some work on his game in the offseason. We'll talk about that a little bit later as Jason Couch steps up. 15 titles, 4 of them majors. He will be eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2011. You have to think he'll get it that year or soon after. Drops them all, and speaking of Hall of Fame, a grave injustice if you, my friends, are not in this upcoming season.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you. I'm going to personally see to it that you're in the Hall of Fame because you deserved it. You deserved it last year.
Well, thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. A great shot there by Jason Couch. You know, when talking with Jason, we have a lot in common. I went through knee surgery back in the early 90s. Jason Couch coming back from knee surgery a year and a half ago. And when talking with him, he said, hey, you know what? My knee's about 90%, but I finally now feel like my game is 100%. His key is to not get stacked up on top of that right knee. Keep your weight back, get some knee bend, and stay behind it.
Yeah! Back-to-back jacks there for Jason.
Well, what a great move Jason Couch just made here in the third frame. Here's his first frame on this left lane. You get some CATS information from the Kegel Training Center. You can see that that shot goes light. So what does he do? He gets up in the third frame, moves a little bit more to the inside, takes out a stronger bowling ball. Perfect result. That's what being a professional is all about. Hey, Rob Stone, how about a little Lumber Liquidators Know the Wood?
I would love that right now.
Well, this is Shark. It's the longest of the named patterns at 43 feet. There is a sea of oil to the outside part of the lane. On both sides, some buildup in the middle. The players try to break down that heavy oil pattern and move towards the center part of the lane.
And by the way, you may actually catch a glimpse of the Shark oil pattern. They have a rendition of it right there over on lane 8, so all the fans watching the action can see exactly what the bowlers are battling oil-wise. Here's Fagan. 3 for 3 for Michael Fagan. Started last year slow, picked it up in the second half, made some adjustments, made a good run, made some shows, came in close in some others. But again, he mentioned, you know, a slow start this year, frustrating time here at the World Series of Bowling. New sponsor, changed equipment, not a whole lot of time in the offseason to prepare that equipment. So he's been doing a lot of experimenting this month. Drilled a ton of balls, probably the most of anyone on the PBA Tour this year. He said about 20 balls he's already drilled. He feels now he's kind of found his comfort zone, finally.
Take a look what Michael Fagan has done on this left lane. Here's his first shot. This one ends up perfect. It's right around fifth arrow. As you can see, all it takes is a little bit of speed and a little bit wide of target for the ball not to make it back. That's what he just did in the fourth.
Oh, boy. Oh, man.
Oof, chopped the double wood.
That's not an easy spare on this.
Wow. And again, this is something you expect someone will drop for a spare, but not at the World Series of Bowling. Couch Fagan semi-number 1 continues when we return to the World Series of Bowling's Shark Championship.
The PBA Shark Championship is brought to you by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. By Bear Aspirin, expect wonders. And by the United States Bowling Congress, the all-new Bowl.com, your online source for all things bowling. Log on to Bowl.com today.